Will I overcome this feeling of helplessness? Is my heart able to heal this state of being? Am I worthy of a better outcome? These questions and doubts that incessantly occupy my mind are creating a sense of heaviness within my body these days. Healing a broken heart is one of the most difficult and deep practices I am trying to create for myself. But where my mind can't reach, my spirit, my breath, my guides will go there for me. I embrace the emotional pain that courses through me, welcoming even the darkest and heaviest of days. For in this transition, I see the potential for growth, a pathway to greater wisdom, deeper self-acceptance, and a more profound understanding of what it truly means to heal the wounds of our heart. May these trying moments serve not as obstacles to overcome, but as opportunities to embrace the full spectrum of human experience and emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before.
In this video, I want to share a little alternative perspective on how to heal a broken heart, and also how a broken heart is not necessarily a state of being and mind where you are in pain because of a romantic relationship. I feel like every time we talk, especially on the internet, about a broken heart, we immediately think about two people breaking up or any sort of romantic problems, while I am experiencing a broken heart while still in a relationship for a variety of other reasons that are not connected to my romantic life. And while I'm feeling like that, I thought it could be helpful and I hope useful to some of you to share how I heal my heart when I'm feeling this way. So before starting, I want to explain to you a little bit why I have a broken heart. So let's start with the romantic side. I am still in my relationship, but my boyfriend had to leave the country to visit his family and also for work, so I'm not going to see him for at least 3 months. And while I'm obviously okay with it and we are in a good place, everything is good, my normal life and all of my habits and the way that I lived for the past 4 years have been broken. And so I found myself in a position where I had to find a new routine. I had to experience what it means to live alone again, which was a really big shock on emotional and therefore physical level. And I think it's important that when we talk about pain, emotional pain, romantic pain, we don't go automatically to a place where we think, oh my god, they broke up or something bad happened. But romantic pain can also be caused by these little things that comes from an healthy and loving and peaceful place. Another big part of why I am experiencing a broken heart is my health. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that last year I've been hospitalized for 3 weeks in neurology. While I'm happy because today I'm relatively okay, we still don't know what's wrong with me and why I have, and I will maybe make a video about it if you want to, a separate one, because there is a lot to unfold. But my whole health situation and the fact that to these days, almost after a year, I feel like my life is rotating around doctor's appointment and the deep anxiety, worry, uncertainty around this situation is really having an effect on how I live my everyday life, on how I feel, on how I think. And for sure my body is not 100% healthy, and the more this situation goes on, the more I can feel it affecting my state of mind. And on top of that, like everyone else, of course, I'm dealing with my wounds that I carry from my past, from my family, from my lineage. I have been doing a lot of inner child work, a lot of sisterhood wound, the witch wound practices that I shared on Instagram. Especially in the last 3 or 4 months, I've been so deep into my Hecate practice, and I feel like I am healing a lot on a spiritual level. But healing also means facing our shadows. It means allowing our trauma and our deepest pain to come to light, and being hospitalized, and the pain and worry that I felt made me see life on a different with different eyes. And I am still dealing with how the way I am, the way I see things, how my life is deeply changed compared to 6 months ago. And all of these things are having an effect on my life, and the result is a broken heart. And I want to normalize, if that makes sense, having a broken heart, saying that you have a broken heart, and sharing what we can do to feel better. So let's dive into some of the tips that I have written down and that I would like to share with you. The first tip that I would like to share with you is how we can find worthiness in our stillness. So when I'm feeling down, when I feel pain or anxiety, it's very hard for me to be productive. And when I'm saying productive, I don't mean working hard or going for a workout, but I also mean doing the daily tasks that are normal, like having a shower, going to cook a nice meal, taking my dog out for a walk. All of these things become very heavy and difficult, and during these times my body and my mind need to stop. And when I stop and I find myself doing nothing, a deep sense of guilt comes to life, and I feel very bad about myself because I'm like, I'm wasting my time, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, I'm being lazy, I gaslight myself, and all of this cycle of thoughts and self-blaming makes me feel worst. And I think the when we want to heal this aspect of ourselves, it's very important to stop for a second and listen to our body. And if our body needs stillness, then us not doing something for a while, it's not laziness, but it's self-love, and it's us healing ourselves. And there is why there is so much worthiness in being still and doing nothing, because we are actually doing something and we are healing ourselves. So I think it's good to find a middle ground where maybe, let's say, we just woke up, we had breakfast, and we are in this state of being where we are experiencing pain and a broken heart. Taking a couple of hours where we just lay down or sit down and we do nothing is totally okay. And while we soak in this self-love and healing practice, we can then feel ready to slowly do what we have to do. That can be cooking a meal or going out or working or whatever we have to do, but with calm, with grace, and with deep love for our heart and our health. The second tip that I wrote is her magic, and this is one of my favorite. Using the power of plants, the magic, the deep magic that is in herbs is what has saved me so many times in my life. And after years of practicing witchcraft, herbalism, call it how you want, I know there is a plant for all of our needs, problems, state of mind. And when you find a plan and when you know what your body needs and you just nourish yourself, it's amazing. So I just want to show you the tea that I like to make to heal my broken heart.
So my favorite tea for when I feel low is this white tea by Copper, and I love adding to it this mixture of dried berries and hibiscus, All of these herbs and flowers have these magical properties of healing your heart, raise your vibration, as well as enhance love and self-love. And if you, like me, love herbalism and you would like to learn more about the plant realm and how to use them to improve your life, I would love to invite you to join me in the Ecoversity herbalism course. You can use my discount code and I will leave the link down here.
The third tip that I wrote is breathe. So I know this can sound simple and maybe a bit shallow in a way, but especially when I'm feeling anxious or when I struggle to physically move because of the emotions that I'm feeling, it is very hard to start a spiritual practice that involves movement or getting up. I know it's easy when we are in a good place to say, okay, when you feel bad, go and practice Kundalini yoga, go for a walk in nature, go and cook yourself a nice cake or meal. But let's be honest, when we are in pain, thinking about doing these things sometimes can be an impossible task. So in these times we have to go back to the roots of our spiritual practice. We have to go back to the roots of spirituality, and everything starts with breathing, with using our breath to heal our body and to heal our mind. This is another thing that I share a lot on my Instagram. Where I am anxious, I like to breathe deeply, do some breathwork exercise. I inhale through my nose for 4 seconds. I hold for 4 seconds and then I exhale through my mouth for 4 seconds. And then after that, I like to close my eyes and understand where exactly the anxiety is in my body. So where do I feel most anxious? And 99% of the time, for me anyway, is here on my chest. So while I keep breathing and focus is just on my breathing, I tap this part of my body, and in my stillness and calmness I try to release the anxiety. And the more I tap, the more I let my body know that I am acknowledging how I'm feeling, I am allowing myself to feel anxious, and that I am with my body, I am present with myself. And really, this is a very simple exercise, but it helps every time. There has been times where I was so anxious that the anxiety didn't go away 100%, but it decreased a lot. So this is a practice that I always go back to when I most need it. Another tip that I would like to share is prayer. And I know that when people say this word, we automatically, or anyway, I especially think about the prayers that I think about, maybe Christian, like Catholic prayers. And although I have nothing against Christianity, I know that it's not for me. I have a lot of trauma connecting to the part of my past. So every time in the past, heard someone say, oh, let's pray, or prayer, I was always like, no, not for me. But with time I learned to change the definition of prayer and to find prayers that were meant for me and they make me feel good. And pray doesn't necessarily mean to talk to a specific God or to follow a specific religion, but it can just be a spell, like words that empower us and heal us, and we can talk to ourselves. I pray to my soul, I pray to my guides, I pray to my angels, I pray to the universe. So really, praying and prayers should be something very intimate and personal, and everyone should be allowed to find their definition of prayer, to find their prayers that work for them. And when I follow these 4 tips, I can feel my body, my heart heal. I can feel so much better, And let's be honest, I am not saying that every time you will do these things you will instantly feel better, but all of this practice can help us getting to the point. They can help us slowly feeling better. The last thing that I want to share is about food. I know, like I said earlier, when we are in a state of emotional pain, it's very hard to do normal tasks. And a lot of times, cooking can be a struggle. Cooking yourself a nice meal doesn't necessarily mean to cook a long meal that requires a lot of time. Preparing yourself a salad with nice veggies, your favorite things, it can be something very quick to make but so nourishing that help you feel better, because food does help us feel better, right? You guys, like I can't believe how cacao heal my heart and makes me smile and laugh even in the darkest of times. So I like to always have a chocolate bar in my bedroom. I prefer dark chocolate. And if you don't want to make yourself a drink, just eat a couple of squares, relax, breathe, and you will feel better, I promise you. And with this little tip, I end today's video. I hope that you found some help in my tips, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked it down in the comments and what you do to heal a broken heart. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!